Hello YouTube, my name is Ep.10 and welcome back to Can They Be DLC Season 2 Episode 10. And today we're going to be talking about the possibility of a Fighters Pack 2, one obviously happening most likely next year, should it happen. But before we do get to that, let's talk about a little bit about the news that came out most recently. Well, the news that came out most recently being Shantae now has a name. The Shantae 5 is now Shantae and the 7 Sirens, and it will be interesting to see if it appears on the Nintendo Indie World that they'll be doing on Monday, being basically a Nintendo Direct for Indies, so basically an Indies Direct like we had in the past, but just, you know, not called that and having a brand new name. It's also interesting to see if it'll follow the pattern of past years where we got an Indies event around this time period, and then about 2 weeks later we would be getting a new one, a new Nintendo Direct. I think that's a pattern, if I'm not mistaken, that happened in 2017 and 2018. So let's wait and see. Hopefully we'll be getting that, and maybe that Direct could have the Banjo-Kazooie reveal or release date or release window, and maybe even the character pack 4, which most likely will be announced in a Nintendo Direct. I would say maybe. Following that, we now know the sales data of Fire Emblem in the United States. We now know it's 300,000 units. About that, one analyst came out and admitted that, because they all have numbers from NPD, which we do not get. 300,000. It's now the second. Technically speaking, it's the second best selling in the States ever. Although that number is skewed because NPD separates Fire Emblem Fates, Birthright and Conquest. They are separated. Together, Birthright or Fates are number 1, then Awakening, then Three Houses. But Three Houses is gonna absolutely murder the competition. Three Houses is gonna go, I almost guarantee that by by the end of this financial year, Three Houses will be one of the games that are gonna be a part of the Nintendo top 10 best sellers for the Switch. I'm actually gonna make a tiny little prediction about what the top 10 is going to look like at the end of this financial year, and it would be number 1 Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, number 2 maybe Super Smash Brothers, or number 2 is a fight between 3 games: Smash Ultimate, Mario Odyssey, and Breath of the Wild. I would say Smash Ultimate narrows it out between the other 2, and then maybe Breath of the Wild can get it. Maybe Breath of the Wild is outpacing Odyssey, and then like Mario Party at number 5, no, Splatoon, Mario Party, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, Pokemon Sword and Shield, Animal Crossing, and at the end will be Super Mario Party. A shame. Actually, I was saying the names, I reminded myself. Yeah, Luigi's Mansion 3 is coming out, and so is and Mario Maker. The top 10 is gonna look ridiculous. It's gonna be like 10 games that are sold 10 million, and then they're gonna have to cut games from the list because like they've sold a million. They should probably give us a top 20 or top 30. Then again, Nintendo is basically the only company that actually gives us these numbers. But still, another piece of news is Astral Chain is doing relatively well on the Nintendo eShop in Japan. We've known this for a while. One thing about Fire Emblem Three Houses as well is like people keep omitting this in the West, maybe because they don't know that they when discussing the numbers on Japan for Three Houses, that the sales there are not that good, is that the vouchers in Japan have a lot more value than they do in the West. In Japan, for example, Three Houses, they don't have in Japan they don't have a set price like we do, while we pay, say, 60, be it euros or being dollars, for a game, basically. For example, my 99, my vouchers, I bought multiple vouchers just to make sure I had all the games that I wanted, would be like $9.99 for a game that costs 60 and another game that costs 60. So I save about 20 euros overall, but in Japan they don't have that. The games are not set at the same price. So Fire Emblem Three Houses, for example, costs I believe $70, and the same thing would be for Astral Chain. So they are most likely to have more of a digital up front than a game like Mario Maker would. Also have, I believe, 30% or like 20 to 30% on the release when shipments came in. about 20 to 30% of digital share, so it's gonna be insane when we get numbers for Three Houses in October. I'm guessing Three Houses is gonna, by that point in time, obliterate every single other Fire Emblem game, and most likely he's gonna start like alone outselling a lot of not only the franchise put together, because it's almost impossible because of Awakening and Fates being two big games, but I could see it being one of those things like, oh, it by itself outsold every single, like the majority of Metroid or all of Metroid. Actually, Fates already outsold all of Metroid, I think, apart from Prime, the first Prime, and Awakening also almost beat every single one of them, apart from maybe Prime and the original Metroid, which is saying something. Fire Emblem is becoming a franchise a hella big. And like I was saying, Astro Chain doing well in the eShop, and now we've got numbers. We not numbers. We have previews. The game looks great. It's looking like it's gonna be a potential Game of the Year contender, and it's looking very, very tasty. Looking like the whole damn meal, and now we have to wait for it a little bit, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be good. It's Platinum Games, baby. So let's get on with the actual topic of this video. Will there be a Fighters Pack 2? And it's not just will there be a Fighters Pack 2. Will it be a Fighters Pack 2? Should there be a Fighters Pack 2? What will happen should there Fighters Pack 2 happen? The possibility of one happening. And what else? Oh, predicting basically who would it be in the Fighters Pack and how the Fighters Pack would actually work. So first things first, should there be a Fighters Pack 2? I think there should. I know a lot of people are gonna bring up, and I had this in the comment in the past before, somebody saying that people like me, and I know some people also watching these videos, would like to see a Fighters Pack 2, or just mean people to Sakurai, because Sakurai kills himself basically making these games. Well, if you're in that mindset, you should have the mindset that one of two things, or one of three things is going to happen when Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is done in development. Should there not be a second Fighters Pack? Sakurai is either A, gonna go a small vacation and then come back and do another Smash game, where he's gonna admittedly almost kill himself again. Sakurai is gonna take a break and work on a new project, and then kind of sort of delaying the next Super Smash Bros. Game, because let's be completely honest, unless Sakurai has already handpicked somebody to be his next in line and we just don't know about it, it's still gonna not happen. It's still gonna take a while for the next Smash game to come out, and I'm pretty sure Nintendo will want the next Smash game to be around the launch of the next Switch. If I was a betting boy, and again I am, serious issue, I really should stop going to the casinos. I would say the next Switch comes out in 2023, 2022, 2023, to give a 5 to 6 year cycle like most Nintendo consoles have, releasing at launch a Mario Kart, then at the summer Splatoon, and they end the year off with Super Smash Bros. And you might say, isn't that a little bit of overkill? That's what they did with the first year of the Switch, and I also think like with Breath of the Wild coming potentially next year, Breath of the Wild 2, potentially next year. We don't know when the next 3D Mario is coming. I would say the next 3D Mario would be the game to launch at early, like 2024, or maybe an Animal Crossing could be a 2024 title. We don't know. It will be interesting to keep that there, that base, that hole, and smash everything. Not only that, it's gonna be a year when Nintendo most likely, it's gonna be a system that most likely will have the Nintendo Online service right off the gate. So might as well take the opportunity and sell the system with these big heavy multiplayer games and sell the online, or maybe they can make a big brand new IP that also is first player focused, and you know, we just have to wait and see on that one, but I would guess that would be it. Or third, Sakurai just retires, and I think he has earned his retirement by now. But again, if he has the third one, let's take the third one as what can happen. Hopefully, if that happens, Sakurai has somebody that has himself trained and groomed to be the next in line to succeed him as the director and supervisor of Smash Bros. We have to look at Nintendo franchises that had that. Junichi Masuda is no longer like the most involved guy in the Pokemon games. Neither is the guy that he was supposed to take over for him, but he's still like, he's the producers. Not that both of them are producers, but like Aonuma, Miyamoto groomed Aonuma and Koizumi to do Mario and Zelda. They did Mario and Zelda on the 64, on the GameCube, and then on the Galaxy games, and on the Wii games and Wii U games, and now there's other people, like the producers, they're the figureheads for the projects, but they're not the directors. They have groomed somebody to be ready, and most likely the people there are ready to take the position of the I'm now the face of the franchise. I'm ready to take the reins should it need be. And Sakurai most likely, hopefully, has done that with Ultimate and kept that happening. Even if that happened, I still say that a Fighters Pack 2 should happen on that front. Like, we've had a Fighters Pack 1 be basically third party, so I think the next one, first party, would be terrific. Why would it be? I think it makes sense. Not only will it make sense, it will be great for the characters that will most likely miss Smash, the next Smash game. Let's be completely honest. Right now, what characters from a first-party franchise are basically guarantees in the next Smash game? I would say a Pokemon, but if Smash comes out in 2023, 2024, or 2022, 2023, 2024, in those years, it's not going to be Generation 8, or, yeah, Generation 8, meaning like a Pokemon like Obstagon, which is right now my favorite brand new Pokemon that we have seen. Then again, we have not seen that many, but Obstagon loses its chances, for example, of being in Smash. Just like what happened with a Generation 3 Pokemon, just like what happened with a Generation 5 Pokemon. Then I would say maybe a new Fire Emblem character, especially if the franchise really blows up 3 houses. But then 3 houses, the game that is looking to be the one that's gonna explode the popularity of the franchise. The franchise was already popular, but now it's going to explode even more, would be out of the running, which is a shame when Fire Emblem 3 Houses is such a good game. By the way, just gonna plug right now my Fire Emblem 3 Houses Let's Play. Right now I believe we're on chapter 8, I believe, right now on on YouTube. I'm not sure if I'm just finished with chapter 8 or chapter 9. I'm a little bit bad on those. I think 9. And let's just say the second part of chapter 9, I think it's 9. It's such a good goddamn ending. That's incredible. It's an incredible chapter. It's a great chapter with the paralogs and stuff. So yeah. And what else? What else? Like, I'm trying to think right now who else would be, like, maybe a new Xenoblade character, which would have happened, I believe, in Smash Ultimate, should, if not for Ultimate being, you know, Ultimate. But still, there would have been, I think Elma or Rex would have been in. Maybe not Rex because of the game was still in development, but Elma I think would definitely be making the cut. But these characters did not make it into Smash Ultimate, so it's kind of a shame that we didn't get it. So I would say that, like, Rex and Pyra, Elma, should the next game come out, Elma still has a chance if Xenoblade Chronicles X2 happens, but if there is another Xenoblade Chronicles that is not X2, it will kill both her and Rex. The only one I would say right now has a guarantee is that doesn't need any Fighters Pack would be a Mr. Springman. I think Springman is going to be in, and that would be the first thing about this Fighter Pack. I think Fighter Pack would be nice to have like 5 characters and 5 echoes, but ARMS will not be a part of it in any way, shape or form, because, well, ARMS is already in the game with the with the assist trophy, and if you remove assist trophies, then in an update, even if it is for a character that's like there's another version of Springman basically in ARMS, like is Echo, I forget the name of it, a Springton or something, Springatron, something like that. If that were to happen, the people would be asking for Waluigi and Isaac, and it's better to leave things out as they are. So, should there be a Fighters Pack 2? Yes, for more reasons than one. I think that first, if Sakurai hasn't chosen somebody to be his successor, he should do it now and allow him to carry on and be like the main guy behind the DLC and working on the DLC, and him basically supervising and making sure everything goes according to plan, just so that this next person in line would do okay for the next game. I also would utilize, much like the tailgate of Smash 4 where Corrin, Cloud and Bayonetta were already leading into Ultimate, And you can even see in their final smashes how all three basically had like what the Smash Ultimate final smashes base is already built into them, would lead into the next Super Smash Bros. Game, maybe an Ultimate 2, where they pick up where Ultimate left off with the Fighters Pack 2, add new characters, maybe reach 100 characters, even call it Smash Bros. Century or something like that, or Sentinel or something. And just be like, yeah, we have 100 characters, we beat Ultimate, we goddamn did it. So if a Fighters Pack 2 would happen, how would I do it? Not only would the background thing already done with the character of Sakurai working with somebody else, I would first make sure that, because this is first party, I would say each character comes with an echo to make it more appealing. Because some characters, I would say first things first also, not every character is going to come with a stage because it's not needed. So first things first, the first character I would do like the second Fighters Pack, like the first Fighters Pack. We end the Fighters Pack with character 5, and then before between the two packs, there's a special character. Special character would be perfect to go from the transition from first or third to first party. That character would be Gino. I kind of already think Gino would be the character. I'm also thinking like they have done the Smash page, I believe, has the single DLC or a standalone DLC, and it only has Piranha Plant. It's a little bit weird to have a specific page created for one specific character. So I think that like Gino would be the perfect character. Like, you bought Fighters Pack 2. If you bought Fighters Pack 2 until the date of the announcement, or like a week after the announcement is made, you get, or like a month until the end of the month, you get Gino as a bonus character for it. And then Fighters Pack 2 begins with Bleeth from Fire Emblem Three Houses. I personally was at the beginning much more of a Edelgard fan, and I pushed for Edelgard, and I would love to see Edelgard in the game, but I've come to terms with that would not be the best strategy. First things first, Bleeth also has a very interesting moveset. I think, for example, his down B could be brilliant, where instead of being a counter, it could also work as a recovery, because Bleeth in the games you can turn back time. So I think that would be a really neat mechanic for a down B, where, say, you can also use it as a recovery. But I would be like, okay, it would be like with Joker's recovery or something, where you can go back like, I don't know how many, like 10 little blocks on screen, but that would leave you vulnerable, for example. As you're moving, leave you vulnerable, and you could also like not help you exactly like you. It will be a high risk, high reward thing type of deal in a recovery setup, but it would be much more of a dodge move, I would say. It would be interesting to see, kind of like Tracer in Overwatch, where you can go back in time basically. It would be neat to see it as it, and I think it will be the perfect character to represent now its first party. Sakurai likes it. It's from a brand new game. The whip sword that you have, the sword of the creator in that game, is really cool, and I would like to see it working on it. Maybe for the final smash, you could have all the students come out and help you, like in a cinematic cutscene, like maybe they've like volleyed, like Edelgard hits him with throwing an axe, and then Dimitri hits him with a lance, and Claude shoots him before you deliver the final blow with the sword of the creator. I think that would be really cool. And the first echo for could this come with the stage? Absolutely. Garrick Monastery would be a really cool stage in my opinion. Maybe even a traveling stage where you travel between the things, and like the students could all appear in the background. We really need to see that. Maybe even travel between the kingdoms, and like obviously it would be like quick transitions if you were like teleportation basically. Like, oh, we are now in Fargus, and here's the students from Fargus, and you're now in the Holy Alliance, here's the students from there, here's the Empire, and here's the students from there. We need to see like kind of like Joker, like mementos. And for music, obviously bring music from Fire Emblem. Then we could have an echo. An echo, I would say, I don't know if one from Fire Emblem would be cool. I would like to see one from Fire Emblem. Here maybe Celica, because of Shadows of Valentia, for an echo over Robin, but I know how the reaction would be for that. It would be two more Fire Emblem characters, and you know the internet would lose their mind. But I kind of would like to see it. I don't think having the number of characters truly showcases how much of a franchise is represented. But I would see it to be really neat if we did have that. Okay, small interruption there. I apologize. Where was I? Oh yeah, Fighters Pack 2. Maybe Dixie Kong should be interesting to see. Maybe with Tropical Freeze music and Tropical Freeze stage, that'll be neat to see. And for an echo, maybe like Mr. Sandman over Little Mac, maybe, I don't know, Black Shadow over Captain Falcon would also be interesting to see. There's a bunch of echoes that could that could be done. Dixie could work very well as a semi-clone and bring extra things so that, you know, there's more to do than just, you know, just the stage and the thing. Then for 3, this is the first big question mark, would be an Astral Chain character. Should Astral Chain be successful? Definitely would fit right in here. But should it not? Well, I would say I actually kind of have like Elma could be in here, but I also think Rex would be a part of the Fighters pack, so it's a little bit, maybe we could have both. For Echoes, again, there's too many characters to list, but I will say this, Echoes, no Echo from a character that already, from the first Fighters pack, because then kind of like you're buying Fighters pack 1, a Fighters pack 1 character basically with nothing else apart from them. But like Echoes, I could see like, I had a whole list before, and I cannot think of one outside of the ones I already said, and I feel kind of shitty. Maybe Tom Nook would be an interesting one over Villager. That'll be a cool one. Then for 4, maybe Elma. Maybe for 3, Elma, with 4 being somebody else. Again, Echo, I want to save the final Echo. I have an Echo in mind, but I want to save it for the final character. I don't know really. Trying to think of an Echo right now, because I had a list before. I made a whole video about Echoes and I can't think of one. Maybe like Dark Link over regular Link, which would be kind of dumb, but at the same time kind of cool. I'm literally drawing a blank and I feel stupid right now. I had a whole list. Maybe Funky Kong. No, Funky Kong could come with Dixie, and then whomever I said for Dixie could come in here. Maybe a third-party Echo. Oh no, third-party Echoes, they would have to pay for licensing, so maybe not. Then the final Fighters pack character for me, it'll be Rex, and I think Rex could be like inverse Pokemon trainer, blades in the back, him in the front, switching out, and with like maybe 4 blades, maybe 5, I don't know, maybe 3 blades, maybe you could select 3 blades at the beginning, maybe like Mithra or Pyra, with Mithra being an alternate costume, because they're basically the same thing in the game. I know they're not, but still, your moves don't change that much if I recall correctly. Maybe then Rook, if they want to go into spoiler territory, maybe Rook, maybe Bridget as the other blades, unless they go into spoiler territory. And the Echo would definitely be Malos over Shulk. It makes sense. It could even change one of them another arch to make him more unique, or maybe even change the counter to something else. Yeah, that'll be it for this part of the video, and I'm just checking my email to see something. Okay, so first things first, let's start off with not the latest, not the first one that I have here, but the last one that was up recorded or made it in time for this video, which comes from Eric Tennyson on the Shantae video, where he just says Shantae for Smash DLC. And I will say this, Shantae, I feel like I said that she would plateau the hype, but now I'm not too sure. I still think she would plateau the hype. She would not increase the hype, but she would not diminish the hype after Banjo-Kazooie. But given the fact that Shantae consistently, I'm not even joking, consistently, Shantae has been one of the characters that brings in the most amount of views for me. Every time I discuss her, every video surpasses easily the 100 mark, and I think, if I'm mistaken, in my first series, she was the #1 character in terms of views, which is crazy for an indie character. I would think like if you always tell you, like from my previous video, the ballot, originally, I did Banjo, I did Shantae, Shovel Knight, King K. Rool, and somebody else that I'm forgetting, and somehow, some way, she was the #1. Between all of them. Also, another character I just thought for the Fighters pack, if like Astral Chain is not successful, or if they don't want to bring in Elma from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 or Xenoblade Chronicles X, and maybe like X2 is in development and they're going to save her for the next game, maybe Psylocke to promote my Metroid Prime 4. Just an idea, I just remember that. Anyway, then we go on to the Dark Souls episodes and the comments. First, Terry Servenson saying, if any Dark Souls content gets into Smash, I could only see the content being spirits or at most a Mii costume. Also, I'm doubtful that we'll ever get another Capcom or Bandai Namco characters. In regards to a second Fighters Pass, I think we'll get a second Fighters Pass, and I think it will be a mix of characters like another Pokemon character, another Donkey Kong character, maybe Fire Emblem Three Houses, or other characters that are highly requested, or from a franchise that doesn't have many in Smash Ultimate. I completely agree. I think that like there are some characters that I feel like were cut from Ultimate because of time. Like there's already a bloated character roster and they were cut. Like many people believe that Piranha Plant was cut from the full release, and I kind of agree, given the fact that Piranha Plant is the only DLC character that will have a Palutena's guidance, which was a little bit weird. So I feel like there's characters that could have made it in but fell short on the priority list, so they made them into assist trophies, or they were too recent to be anything outside of assist trophies or costumes that the Fighters Pack could potentially bring in. And yeah, Dark Souls, like even the Mii costume, they could just make an evil Mii costume and say something. One thing that's weird is that we have not gotten Mii costumes in between the Mii costumes that we've gotten in each character pack, which is kind of weird. But yeah, another Pokemon, Generation 8 is right around the corner. If we get one Fighters Pack 2 next year, you absolutely know that a Pokemon would be there, like, and the Fire Emblem Three Houses character, just because Three Houses is so goddamn successful, and I would not be surprised if, even with all the controversy surrounding Sword and Shield, it's still gonna do like a clean 15 million. It could even do 20 at this point. And I think like a lot of the hate coming towards it, it should have been done earlier, but given the fact that I've already seen some game developers coming out and saying like, they should have done this a long time ago, and it's a long time coming when it comes to the Pokédex, National Dex being cut. It just like feels like a bunch of armchair developers talking about shit. It's very much like professional sports. Everybody is a coach, and everybody knows everything. And then, you know, nobody knows like the coaches. That's why they get paid, and we just pay to watch, or pay to play in this case. Then Obese Rob said, Dark Souls probably isn't happening, it just doesn't have many requests. True, but you never know. We have seen that sometimes the things that we don't think will happen. At 9 minutes 15 seconds, Source Gaming has said that 2015 poll was not the most accurate in one of their live streams. Benjo quickly appears in Japan-based pools as the Scratch. It's ridiculous how popular he is in Japan with the amount of Japan exclusive stuff and boost in sales over there. Kind of have to disagree because the sales for Crash games in Japan has not been good. The Insane Trilogy and Crash CRT did not do good in Japan. Matter of fact, I believe CRT did under 10k for PS4. Could be wrong. I agree, you can't 100% say who did well, but you can at least have a good idea, or get a good idea. And a top 10 character for characters not yet in isn't too bad. Yes, but at the same time, I mean more in the Banjo. I think I was talking more in the Banjo was also picked for the entire world than it. But I guess it makes sense. But also, yeah, Crash Bandicoot also we need character for 4. Then Hero makes sense not to appear in the polls because Dragon Quest XI doesn't have a cloud that represents the series. Resident Evil is similar case, but Dragon Quest is more of extreme because wait, I thought something was flashing on my screen for a second. A case of who do you go with, seeing as there is 11 main characters and Slime as the mascot. Well, here's the thing. There's a lot of them, sure, but at the same time, like, I believe 3 or Herdrick, Dragon Quest 3 Herdrick is the more popular one of all of them, so, you know, I could see him being the mascot, or being the one with the most amount of votes, but still it's weird to me that not one of them made it. Not a single one beat like Bayonetta that had like the least amount of in Japan in the character pool. Also, Sakurai has admitted it that Bayonetta did not actually win the ballot in the Famitsu on Banjo. Well, here's the thing, he always said that Bayonetta never won the ballot. He admitted it when he announced that she won. He said it, she was the first amongst realizable and negotiable characters, meaning that she wants to Goku, Shrek, Snake, maybe the Belmonts, Banjo and Kazooie, characters that in 2014, 2015 were literally impossible to have. Heck, Banjo and Kazooie only became a possibility, what? After Phil Spencer went from being a guy, the head of Xbox, to be a guy in the board of directors for Microsoft. So obviously she never won the ballot because he himself admitted there was other characters in front of him, but she was just the first realizable character. We've known for a while because of BIOS data in the patch 1.0.8, which came out 2 weeks after the ballot was announced, meaning they planned for her, but at least Sakurai admitted that she didn't win. Well, I remember that. Wasn't the data that was like the character slot for next to copy stats from Zero Suit, while Ike had Cloud, and I forget who was for Corrin. But I think it was Miss Swords Fighter for Corrin. I wouldn't take that as a guarantee because, again, as you said, 2 weeks afterwards. So maybe after 2 weeks, or like maybe she already has it. Let's be completely honest. The ballot went for way too long. The ballot probably was like a done deal within a month or so. Most people already had voted. So I would say maybe after 2 weeks they had a good idea where the ballot was going and they put the character or the Bayonetta there just as like a safe keep should something happen, should there not be. And I think that might have been it. I don't know, until we have solid confirmation, it's all speculation. And Sakurai admitting it that she didn't win, that was admitted it in December 2015 when he literally said she was #1 amongst realizable and negotiable characters. So yeah, I guess that'll be it for this episode of Can They Be DLC. Tell me in the comment section what do you think about the Fighters Pack 2 happening and who could be in it. Also, I would welcome character select or character suggestions because I'm literally running out of ideas at this point, and I can only pray to God that Nintendo does a Nintendo Direct soon so that we can get either one or both characters announced. But anyway, next episode we still have some ideas here in this little head, and next week's episode will be about, well, Professor Layton. So thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Legend of DS. I'll see you guys next time.